Hi everyone, I am Ketra. Welcome to your reading for Soul Work in Progress. So that's what this collective message is going to be about today. It is about the soul work in progress. This is probably for my sober souls, those on the path of spiritual recovery and healing from so many things, past traumas, addictions, anything of the like. So we're going to start with the Spirit Song Tarot. And I asked the deck if this is the deck I needed to use to start this collective reading. So again, collective reading, some of these messages may not resonate with you. If they don't, that's okay. And also really quick, let's just say, if you would like a one-on-one reading with me, go ahead and go to my website. It is tarotandsoundhealing.com. I think I have 2 days left this month that I can do personal one-on-one readings. So if you'd like a one-on-one reading with me, just feel free to go over to my website. And then also thank you for liking, subscribing. So as I was saying, when I was choosing the decks that I was going to use today, I saw this one. It is Spirit Song Tarot. It is a beautiful tarot deck. And I asked if the deck wanted me to use it for today. The card that I pulled out, and I'll reshuffle and put this one back, but I wanted to share it with you. It is Courage and Commitment. And I was like, okay, I hear what you're saying with that, because some of the other things that I channeled while I was meditating before the reading was courage, faith, the light at the end of the tunnel, soul's purpose clearly pictured now, and then some other messages like stumbling blocks. I saw a stop sign, birds to the right of me, kind of like being led in a certain direction. So we're going to go ahead and use Spirit Song Tarot as kind of like the anchor card, and then we'll use some Oracle, and then we'll figure out where we're at. So the Spirit Song Tarot, the card that it wants to share with us. So you saw me, I shuffled this deck, and I went to pull this card, and it was face up. Shouldn't have been face up, but it is, because it is the message from the divine. It is transformation, transition, liberation. So that is our anchor card today. And I love that. That is so fantastic. So thank you guys so much. So transition, transformation, liberation. And so that's what we're blessed with when we're aligned with our soul's path, is being open and ready to go forward through that transformation. And it is very liberating, I think was my point there. We're going to check in with the Akashic Soul Records Oracle, because this is soul work in progress. I want to make sure that we tap in and check in with our soul and our soul's alignment. So what message do we want to share with them today? It is echoes of loss. You feel the ache of emotional loss or separation. Grief is a sacred emotion. It shows where love lived. Honor the loss and trust healing will follow. So as we're checking in with our soul in this reading, if you are going through loss, that is very tough on anyone at any time in their life, right? But when you're on the path to spiritual sobriety, it could be even tougher to try to stay aligned with your soul's path if it means no longer using, substances and addictions that no longer serve you. So I think it's an amazing message that Spirit wants me to share with you guys today about how to navigate that. One of the other things that is my intention for this reading is tapping into the next lesson and choose one next aligned step. So if this is part of the lesson that you are going through, we can work together to figure out what your next step is. And your next Akashic Soul Records message is soul contract. You feel the pull of something you agreed to long before this lifetime. Your soul remembers what your mind forgets. Honor your sacred contract by taking the first conscious step. And I love that they're wanting to share that message too, because again, it's tapping into the next lesson and choose one next aligned step. So if you're feeling any kind of like loss, it is an opportunity of transformation, right? It is the transformation for those that have crossed over. It is the transformation for you to be able to navigate that. So let's take a look with tarot and just kind of tap into where we're at right now. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do where we're at, where we're going, and how we're getting there. So we're just going to do 3 rows, and we're going to clarify as needed, but let's go ahead and get started. 10 of Pentacles. Oh, Three of Swords, Eight of Wands, King of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, and there's your Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands. Okay, so as we get started, that Ten of Pentacles, I mean, that is everything that we want, right? So if this is where you're at, and if the anchor card of Echoes of Loss is constantly sticking out in my head right now, you may right now be surrounded by family and friends that are dealing with some sort of loss right now, and but this is it. This is family and friends gathering. And loss is sad, but it's also can be a celebration of life. It can be a celebration of a time where you guys can all get together and you guys can help heal each other. So I have the Three of Swords here too. And so that is healing your heart. Healing your heart heals your mind and it heals your soul. So if this is where you're at right now, it's pretty significant. You have the Eight of Wands also. So Eight of Wands is when things are happening really, really fast right now. So as a reminder, because I feel like this message is for those sober souls, remember as the universe gives you choices and options and things that you're going to have to go through, just remember to take them one step at a time. And remember, you only need to deal with one thing at a time, right? Especially if you're going through any kind of loss right now. So I think what I'm definitely going to do is I want to clarify these cards with, it's just another Rider-Waite deck. This is Tarot of the Traditions. So just, it's that Ten of Pentacles that I'm just, I'm not stuck on it, but it's just, it's so significant right now. It just definitely feels like, you're transforming, and it's transforming through this transition of loss. And so again, because it's a collective reading, if we were sitting together, I would be able to ask you specific questions one-on-one. But if this is a guided message that needs to get out to somebody, it is really remembering to use the resources that you have around you right now to be able to help heal yourself through this transition. And then once you're able to do that, also being mindful, because this is usually, okay, everything's happening really fast right now. But you really want to take your time to slow down during this time right now, because again, this is the row of where you're at. So tell me why the Ten of Pentacles is here, the Three of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. Why is that Ten of Pentacles here? Wow, Three of Swords. So you have the Three of Swords and the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords with that Ten of Pentacles shows me that the way that you're going to be able to heal your mind and heal your heart is through friends and family right now. The Three of Swords is clarified by the Hermit. So definitely this is a time where you need to go inward and you need to take some time to kind of like be with yourself, but continue to keep yourself available to others, because you're helping them heal too. Because I think collectively, this is what you're doing right now with that Ten of Pentacles and that Three of Swords. Your Eight of Wands is clarified by the Ten of Wands. So what's really interesting is that you have the 8, the 9, and the 10. And so that for me shows that you're slowly building yourself up to be able to handle whatever's coming next. So this may feel heavy, and it really honestly does feel very heavy. It feels like a significant loss. But there's always lessons in every loss. There's lessons in every shadow, right? So I definitely feel like if you are able to do that Eight of Wands kind of energy of working through this, because again, you have 2 Three of Swords cards that are in this first row that are definitely in reference to some sort of loss. And it's in reference to some sort of transformation that you're going through. So where you're at and where you're going next is the, do we want to do that? Okay, I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and do an oracle card from the Queen of the Moon oracle. So what energy or strength are they able to tap into as they're going through this emotional loss? Action. And that's interesting because you have the Eight of Wands. So this might as well be the Eight of Wands card. It is taking that action, but I definitely feel like a reminder to slow down. It is one thing at a time right now, one thing at a time, because there's a lot of action going on. And then surrender. So for those of us on the path to spiritual recovery, surrendering to a power greater than yourself is how you're going to be able to navigate this transformation that you're going through. So whether it's God, your higher self, a higher power, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you can connect to, if you can go into that hermit mode of being able to tap into your higher self and your connection to the divine, the connection to God, that's where you're going to find that strength to continue the action that you need to be able to move forward on your soul's path. So where you're at and where you're going. So where you're going is King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, he is very grounded. He is very sure in what he needs to do next. And then again, it's being sure of where you're going in this transformation that you're in right now, as you're aligned with your soul's path. Just be mindful of, what you're doing. You're putting the work in. You've got the Seven of Pentacles right here. So it's a reminder that it's either the work isn't done yet, or is this aligned with your soul's path? So whatever it is for you that you're doing next, and I don't know if it's tied into this. I think this definitely feels like a separate situation of, okay, here's a lesson that you have to learn right now. How do you deal with the emotions that you're going through? The way that you deal with the emotions that you're going through is that you ground yourself. You take that time to think. And the reason I say that is because with the King of Pentacles, he literally looks like he's in contemplation right now. He's thinking about what is the best next step for him to do. And then once you figure out what the best next step is for you to do, the Seven of Pentacles says that there's still more work to be done. And I think that's a great message, because when we're on our soul's path to recovery, there is always another step to take to continue to align yourself on your soul's path. This is the Nine of Wands, and it is the Wounded Warrior card. So definitely feels like this kind of feels like it took a hit, but you were asked to see the transformation that was necessary for whatever this is for you. And this is also a reminder to just focus on one thing. So you set your boundaries because you have your 8 wands behind you, and then you take that one thing that you want to work on moving forward, right? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clarify this row. So we're going to clarify the King of Pentacles. What one direction are you grounded in right now? Ace of Cups. So what is it you can do right now to continue to keep that Ace of Cups overflowing? So where are you feeling emotionally pulled right now? Because if you can navigate that, like align yourself with your soul's contract and navigate where it is that your heart feels, that's interesting. Because I had wrote down, and this did, some of the channeled messages that I write down before the readings don't make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll write it down. This says, birds to the right, kind of like being led in another direction, tiptoeing your way through the process. Then it hits you like a burst of light, like this is the direction that you want to go. One moment that changes everything. So what is that one moment? Wow, one moment that changes everything. So I wonder if that has something to do. And again, it's hard for me to tell because this is a collective reading. I wonder if this is that one moment that changed everything for you. But where you need to focus your attention and grounding is led by your heart. That Seven of Pentacles is clarified by the Empress. Wow. So where you should possibly consider focusing right now is nurturing yourself. So the Seven of Pentacles asks the question, am I done, or is there more work to do? So there's clearly more work to do because you need to nurture yourself. So continue the nurturing work that you're doing on yourself. And your Nine of Wands is clarified by the Five of Swords. So our Five of Swords is a card of kind of like chaos and conflict. So if the Five of Swords is clarifying your Nine of Wands, your Nine of Wands today is asking you to set those boundaries so that you can focus on that one thing. Sorry, it's getting really loud. So when you're able to focus on that one thing, you're able to remember that when there's any kind of chaos or like a lot of chaotic activity, you can have that choice, right? You can make that choice to follow your heart. So there's one person that's holding, there's one person that's holding 3 swords, and then the others are walking away. They're going towards, they're going towards the water, they're going towards the mountains, they're going towards freedom, right? You can free yourself from those binding thoughts, is how I feel with this card today. And the way that you're going to do that, or the way that you could possibly do that, is by setting those boundaries for yourself. So I think the next message that we're going to get is, we're going to tap into our inner child. So I love the inner child oracle because they're always a reminder of how to continue on our soul's contract, because I really honestly sometimes feel like our soul's contract is guided by our inner child. And if we continue to tap into our inner child, it will really help us to feel aligned with our soul's contract. And I feel like it's also, if you can surrender, because you have the surrender in the action card. So if you take that action to surrender to your inner child, and what does that mean? It means what really feels right, what feels happy, what feels like aligned with our souls. Where do you feel that pull, from right here? Because I literally just feel like I'm being pulled into a direction. But I believe that's collectively for you. So that's the message for you, is where are you being pulled collectively, right? No, where are you being pulled emotionally right now? So your message from your inner child right now. Yeah, we're going to do these 2. Wow, you know the way. Trust your intuition on the journey. And I say wow because when I wrote down, then it hit you like a burst of light, like this is the direction you want to go. One moment that changes everything. Your guides are with you. Get started. I kind of think that was a message for me to get started on the reading, but allowing yourself to see what's already there. Trust even if you can't see it. So you know the way. Trust even if you can't see it. Your intuition, your higher self, God, is aligning you on your soul's contract. So it's kind of like sometimes we have that resistance. And I say that because I had pulled some cards for myself from the Queen of the Moon Oracle this morning. And it was, one of them was acceptance and one of them was resistance. And it's funny how they play off of each other, right? You can either have acceptance or you can have resistance. And I think that's important to share with you right now, because you also have let it go. Let go of all that no longer serves you. And that is something that we constantly need to do when we're aligning ourselves on our soul's path. So as we get into, this is where we're at, where we're going, and how we're getting there. So let's take a look with how we're getting there. How we're getting there, it's pretty simple, man. And I only say that in such a matter of fact kind of way because I love that tarot can just spell it out. How are you going to get there? 8 of Pentacles. You're going to continue to put the work in every single day with every decision that you make. And it doesn't have to be overwhelming and heavy. It's just what feels aligned for me today, because you're literally being gifted from spirit a message from the divine. And it is that message of, where does your passion and your fire lie right now? So how you're getting there is you're going to tap into your intuition and you're going to put the work in. And then that's continuing to build your foundation right now. So the 4 of Wands is a card of celebration. It's a card of building that foundation, right? It's like success after successful building. So I think what you're doing right now is you're building your strength. You're being asked to focus on being kind and loving and abundant to yourself, setting those boundaries and navigating which direction that you want to go based on how it makes your heart feel. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to clarify this row here. So they have the 8 of Pentacles. So if they're going to go ahead and they're going to continue to put the work in through this healing lesson that they're going through right now, because I am soul work in progress. So if you continue that 8 of Pentacles energy, you have the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords is learning how to do something in a different way. So this card can be read a couple of ways, but for me, for today, I feel like the message is you're going to figure out a different way to continue to do the work on yourself. So maybe it's that moment, that one moment that changes everything, that hits you like a burst of light, like this is a direction that you want to go. and you're going to kind of go at it in a different way, but you're going to still have to put the work in. That Ace of Wands is clarified by the Queen of Swords. So with this energy of the Ace of Wands, this divine gift that's being gifted to you, it's also going to provide you with that clarity. Like you're going to be able to see things that you hadn't seen before. It's allowing yourself to see what's already there and to trust even if you can't see it. So the Queen of Swords, as she sits in her throne, she is like above the clouds. And I love that this is like the same but a different version of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because in this deck, she is asking for help. She's asking for guidance, but she wants clear guidance. She wants clarity within the guidance that she's receiving. And it feels like whatever this is for you, that's what you're receiving from this. Your Four of Wands is clarified by the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands, she uses her intuition to decipher what it is she wants to focus her attention on. So you're focused on your foundation right now. You're focused on building a path to align yourself with your soul. And so just remember, again, remember to tap into your intuition. Trust your intuition on this journey. And also, in addition to that, that is a 44. So if that number is significant to anyone, especially with numerology, that 4 is building that foundation. So right now you're building a very strong foundation for you. So I love that while you're on your soul's path. So again, I am on my spiritual path to recovery. So if my one-on-one reading schedule doesn't work with you and you just need to talk, feel free to leave me a comment and let me know how I can message you back, and we can go from there. But until the next reading, I hope you guys enjoyed this Soul Work in Progress reading, and take care and have a great rest of your day.